There's something almost magical about holding an ancient manuscript in your hands. The brittle pages, the faded ink, the faint scent of time. It's as if the past itself is reaching out, offering a glimpse into worlds long forgotten. But what if these manuscripts aren't just relics of history? What if they're treasure maps pointing to places so extraordinary, so mysterious, that they've eluded discovery for centuries? Today, we're peeling back the layers of these ancient texts to uncover 30 hidden locales, each one a tantalizing puzzle waiting to be solved. From lost cities swallowed by dense jungles to mythical realms that defy logic, these mysteries have challenged the brightest minds and ignited the imaginations of adventurers for generations. Why do these places remain hidden? What secrets do they guard? And what might their discovery reveal about our world and ourselves? Let's begin this journey together, starting with the first of these enigmatic sites. Deep in the heart of the Sahara Desert lies a legend that has whispered through the ages, a city of white walls and untold riches, hidden by the unforgiving sands. This is Zerzura, a place that has tantalized adventurers and scholars alike since medieval times. Mentioned in Arabic manuscripts, Zerzura is described not just as a city, but as an oasis of unimaginable beauty, its gates guarded by slumbering giants and its streets paved with treasures beyond measure. But is it a real place or merely a metaphor for an unattainable paradise? The manuscripts offer tantalizing clues, speaking of a bird with a key and a door in the mountain, cryptic phrases that have fueled countless expeditions into the desert's vast expanse. Some believe Zerzura could lie buried beneath the dunes, its secrets preserved by the shifting sands. Others argue that it's a symbol of hope, a mirage that speaks to the human desire for discovery and wonder. Over the centuries, explorers have risked everything to find it, from 19th century European adventurers to modern-day archaeologists armed with satellite imagery. Yet Zerzura remains elusive, its mystery as enduring as the desert itself. What could the bird with a key signify? Could the door in the mountain lead to a hidden valley untouched by time? The answers may still lie buried, waiting for someone to piece together the clues scattered across those ancient pages. From the shifting sands of Zerzura, we now turn our gaze eastward to a legend that once captivated the imagination of medieval Europe, the Kingdom of Prester John. Imagine a land so extraordinary that it seemed to defy the boundaries of reality. This was no ordinary kingdom. It was a realm of unparalleled wealth, advanced technology, and creatures straight out of myth. Rivers flowed with gold, fountains granted eternal youth, and a magical mirror revealed the entire world at a glance. At its heart ruled Prester John, a Christian king whose name echoed through the corridors of power and faith, inspiring both awe and curiosity. But where was this fantastical kingdom? Medieval manuscripts point to the east, yet the exact location remains shrouded in mystery. Was it hidden in the mountains of Ethiopia, the lush valleys of India, or the vast steppes of Central Asia? Each theory carries its own tantalizing clues, yet none have been definitively proven. The legend of Prester John first emerged in the 12th century when a letter, purportedly written by the king himself, began circulating among European courts. It spoke of a land where justice reigned supreme, where the natural world seemed to bend to the will of its ruler. The letter ignited a fervor among European monarchs and explorers who saw in Prester John a potential ally against their enemies and a beacon of hope in a turbulent world. But was the letter genuine or a clever fabrication designed to inspire and intrigue? Scholars remain divided. Some argue that the kingdom was a real place, its details exaggerated over time. Others believe it was a utopian ideal, a reflection of medieval Europe's longing for a perfect Christian society. What makes the search for Prester John's kingdom so compelling is not just the promise of treasure or power, but the layers of meaning behind the legend. It speaks to a time when the world was still largely unexplored, when maps were filled with blank spaces and the unknown held endless possibilities. The manuscripts that describe this kingdom are more than just historical documents. They're windows into the hopes, fears, and dreams of an entire era. Could the rivers of gold symbolize the untapped riches of distant lands? Might the mirror represent humanity's timeless desire to see beyond the horizon? Even today, the mystery of Prester John's kingdom continues to inspire. Modern historians and adventurers pore over ancient texts, searching for clues that might unravel the truth. Could the kingdom have been a real place, its wonders lost to time and memory? Or was it, as some suggest, a powerful metaphor, a story that captured the essence of an age? As we delve deeper into the manuscripts, one thing becomes clear. The Legend of Prester John is not just about finding a lost kingdom, it's about understanding the human spirit's unquenchable thirst for discovery. And so, the search goes on, each clue a step closer to unraveling one of history's most enduring enigmas. As we leave the golden rivers and magical mirrors of Prester John's kingdom, our journey takes us to the very edge of the ancient world, a place shrouded in frost and legend. This is Thule, a name that has echoed through the ages, whispered by Greek explorers, Roman scholars, and Norse storytellers alike. Described as the northernmost point of the known world, Thule was more than just a place. It was a symbol of the ultimate frontier, a land where reality and myth blurred into one. But what exactly was Thule? Was it a real island, a frozen wasteland, or a land of eternal sunlight, as some ancient texts suggest? The answer, it seems, depends on who you ask. The first mentions of Thule appear in the works of the Greek explorer Pytheas, who claimed to have journeyed to this distant land in the 4th century BC. He described it as a place of perpetual daylight in summer and endless darkness in winter, a land so far north that the sea itself seemed to freeze. Later Roman writers expanded on these accounts, some portraying Thule as a desolate, icy realm, while others painted it as a lush, mystical paradise. This duality has only deepened the mystery. Could Thule have been Iceland with its volcanic landscapes and midnight sun, or Greenland with its vast ice sheets and remote isolation? Some even speculate that Thule might have been a mythical land like the Norse Hyperborea, a place beyond the reach of mortal men where the sun never set and the gods walked among mortals. What makes Thule so fascinating is not just its uncertain location, but what it represents. For the ancient Greeks and Romans, Thule was the ultimate boundary, the very edge of the world. Beyond it lay the unknown, a realm of endless possibilities and untold dangers. It was a place that challenged the limits of human exploration and imagination, embodying the spirit of discovery that drives us to this day. And while modern science has mapped the farthest reaches of the globe, the mystery of Thule endures, a reminder of how much we still have to learn about our world and ourselves. The manuscripts that mention Thule are more than just historical records. They're a window into how ancient civilizations viewed the unknown. To them, Thule wasn't just a place, it was a concept, a symbol of the eternal human quest to explore, to understand, and to dream. Today, historians and adventurers continue to debate its true identity, each theory offering a new piece of the puzzle. Could Thule have been a real place, its name lost to time? Or was it, as some suggest, a metaphor for the unexplored corners of the world, a reminder that there are always new horizons waiting to be discovered? As we ponder these questions, one thing is certain: the legend of Thule continues to captivate us just as it did the ancients. It's a story of curiosity, courage, and the unrelenting desire to push beyond the boundaries of the known. And in that sense, perhaps Thule isn't just a place on a map, it's a journey, one that we're all a part of, each time we dare to explore the unknown. From the icy enigma of Thule, our journey now takes us to the sun-drenched lands of the ancient world, where the Nile flows and the sands whisper tales of a lost paradise. This is the Land of Punt, a place so revered by the ancient Egyptians that it became the stuff of legend. Imagine a land brimming with riches, gold that gleamed like the sun, incense that perfumed the air, and creatures so exotic they seemed to step out of myth. For centuries, Punt was Egypt's most treasured trading partner, a source of wealth and wonder that fueled the kingdom's prosperity. Yet, despite its prominence in ancient texts, Punt's true location remains one of history's greatest puzzles. The descriptions of Punt in Egyptian manuscripts are vivid and tantalizing. It was a land of abundance where towering trees bore fragrant resins and the earth seemed to yield its treasures effortlessly. The Egyptians called it God's Land, a phrase that speaks volumes about its significance. Expeditions to Punt were monumental undertakings, celebrated in hieroglyphs and temple carvings. One of the most famous accounts comes from the reign of Queen Hatshepsut, who sent a fleet to Punt in the 15th century BCE. The reliefs at her temple in Deir el-Bahari depict the journey in stunning detail. Ships laden with goods, exotic animals like baboons and myrrh trees, and the people of Punt themselves, their distinct appearance captured for eternity. But where was this land of plenty? Scholars have debated its location for decades, with theories pointing to modern-day Somalia, Eritrea, or even Yemen. Each possibility comes with its own set of clues. The Somali coast, for instance, matches some descriptions of Punt's lush terrain and its reputation as a source of aromatic resins. Eritrea, with its proximity to the Red Sea, offers another compelling case. Yemen, on the Arabian Peninsula, has also been suggested, given its historical role as a hub for trade in incense and spices. Yet, despite these tantalizing leads, no archaeological evidence has definitively tied any of these regions to the Punt described in the manuscripts. What makes the mystery of Punt so intriguing is not just the question of its location, but the deeper questions it raises. Why did such a vital trading partner vanish from historical records? Was it a victim of shifting trade routes, environmental changes, or political upheaval? Or could it be that Punt was not a single place, but a network of trading centers, its identity lost in the mists of time? The manuscripts offer glimpses, but they leave much to the imagination, inviting us to piece together the story from fragments of history. The search for Punt is more than a quest for a lost land, it's a journey into the heart of ancient Egypt's worldview. To the Egyptians, Punt was more than a source of wealth. It was a symbol of the divine, a place where the natural and the supernatural intertwined. The goods they brought back weren't just commodities, they were offerings to the gods, tokens of a connection to a world beyond their own. This perspective transforms Punt from a historical mystery into a window into the ancient Egyptian soul, revealing their values, their aspirations, and their relationship with the wider world. As we explore the enigma of Punt, we're reminded that some mysteries are not meant to be solved quickly. They linger, inviting us to dig deeper, to question, and to wonder. Whether Punt was a single kingdom or a collection of trading posts, its legacy endures not just in the gold and incense it provided, but in the stories it inspired, the connections it forged, and the questions it continues to ask. And perhaps, in the end, that's the true treasure of Punt, not the riches it held, but the journey of discovery it inspires in all of us. From the golden riches of Punt, we now venture across the Atlantic to a legend that has captivated explorers for centuries, the fabled City of El Dorado. Picture this, a ruler so wealthy, so powerful, that he would cover himself in gold dust, wading into a sacred lake to offer treasures to the gods. This is the image that Spanish conquistadors carried with them as they plunged into the dense jungles of South America, driven by dreams of unimaginable wealth. But was El Dorado a real place or something far more elusive, a symbol perhaps of something deeper? The legend of El Dorado, meaning the Golden One, originated with the Muisca people of modern-day Colombia. According to their traditions, their leader would perform a ritual at Lake Guatavita, covering himself in gold dust before diving into its waters to honor the gods. Over time, this story transformed in the retelling, evolving from a ceremonial act into the idea of an entire city made of gold, hidden somewhere in the uncharted wilderness. Spanish conquistadors, already intoxicated by the treasures they had plundered in the New World, became consumed by the idea of finding this mythical city. The search for El Dorado became one of history's most relentless quests. Expeditions led by figures like Gonzalo Pizarro and Sir Walter Raleigh ventured deep into the jungles, facing disease, starvation, and hostile tribes, all in pursuit of a city that seemed to vanish just as they drew near. These explorers left behind maps, journals, and tantalizing clues, each one hinting at the possibility of El Dorado's existence. Yet, despite centuries of searching, no definitive evidence of a golden city has ever been found. This raises an intriguing question. Was El Dorado ever meant to be a physical place? Some scholars argue that the legend is a metaphor for spiritual wealth, a reminder that true riches lie not in material possessions but in the intangible treasures of culture, tradition, and belief. The Muisca ritual, after all, was about honoring the divine, not hoarding gold. Could it be that the conquistadors, blinded by greed, misunderstood the true meaning of El Dorado? Others, however, hold out hope that the city, or at least its treasures, might still be out there waiting to be discovered. Recent archaeological discoveries, such as the remnants of ancient Muisca settlements and gold artifacts near Lake Guatavita, suggest that the legend may have roots in real historical events. Could these findings be the key to unraveling the mystery of El Dorado, or are they merely fragments of a story that has grown larger than life? What makes El Dorado so enduring is not just the promise of gold, but the layers of meaning it carries. It's a story about human ambition, the lengths we'll go to in pursuit of our dreams, and the way legends can shape history. The manuscripts and maps that mention El Dorado are more than just records of a search. They're reflections of the hopes and fears of those who sought it. And in that sense, perhaps El Dorado is not just a place but a mirror showing us what we value most. As we explore this legend, we're reminded that some mysteries are as much about the journey as they are about the destination. Whether El Dorado is a city of gold, a spiritual ideal, or something in between, its story continues to inspire us to ask questions, to seek, and to dream. And in doing so, we keep the spirit of discovery alive, not just for treasure, but for the truths that lie hidden within ourselves. From the golden allure of El Dorado, we now set sail across the vast Pacific Ocean to a legend that has sparked both wonder and skepticism. The lost continent of Mu. Picture a landmass so vast, so advanced, that it was said to be the birthplace of human civilization itself. According to 19th-century manuscripts, Mu was a paradise of towering cities, cutting-edge technology, and a culture so sophisticated that it influenced civilizations across the globe. But then, in a catastrophic event, this utopia vanished beneath the waves, leaving behind only whispers of its existence. Was Mu a real place, or is it a story born from the human imagination, a cautionary tale about the rise and fall of great societies? The concept of Mu first emerged in the writings of Augustus Le Plongeon, a 19th-century archaeologist who claimed to have deciphered ancient Mayan texts that spoke of this lost continent. He described Mu as a sprawling land in the Pacific, home to a civilization far older than any known to history. Later, the idea was popularized by James Churchward, who claimed to have uncovered ancient tablets that detailed Mu's advanced culture and its tragic downfall. According to these accounts, Mu was a place of incredible scientific and spiritual achievement, its people living in harmony with nature until disaster struck. But why does the idea of Mu captivate us so deeply? For some, it's the tantalizing possibility that an entire chapter of human history has been lost to time. Could Mu have been the source of ancient knowledge that spread to other civilizations, from the pyramids of Egypt to the temples of Mesoamerica? Proponents of this theory point to similarities in architecture, mythology, and even language across distant cultures as evidence of a shared origin. Others, however, see Mu as a metaphor, a reminder of how fragile human achievements can be in the face of natural forces. Mainstream science, of course, remains skeptical. No geological evidence supports the existence of a sunken continent in the Pacific, and many of the claims about Mu have been debunked as misinterpretations or outright fabrications. Yet, intriguingly, there is a real submerged landmass in the region Zealandia, a mostly underwater continent that broke away from Australia millions of years ago. Could Zealandia be the inspiration behind the legend of Mu? While it's unlikely that Zealandia was ever home to an advanced civilization, its existence adds a fascinating layer to the mystery. The enduring fascination with Mu lies not just in the question of whether it was real, but in what it represents. It's a story about the heights human societies can reach and the ease with which those achievements can be erased. It's a reminder that our world is full of unknowns and that the past may hold secrets we've yet to uncover. Whether Mu was a real place or a powerful myth, its legacy continues to inspire us to explore, to question, and to dream. As we ponder the mystery of Mu, we're left with more questions than answers. Could the manuscripts describing it be fragments of a long-forgotten truth? Or are they simply stories crafted to teach us something about ourselves? Either way, the legend of Mu invites us to look beyond the surface, to imagine what might lie hidden beneath the waves and within the pages of history. And in that sense, perhaps Mu is not just a lost continent, but a mirror, reflecting our own search for meaning in an ever-changing world. High above the Mediterranean, where the horizon meets the sea, lies a story that has fascinated humanity for millennia: the Garden of the Hesperides. Imagine a paradise so lush, so divine, that it seemed to belong to the gods themselves. According to ancient Greek manuscripts, this garden was no ordinary place. It was a sanctuary of golden apples, fruits so rare and powerful that they were said to grant immortality. Guarded by nymphs and a fearsome dragon, the garden was a treasure beyond mortal reach, a symbol of eternal life that has inspired countless myths and legends. But was it a real place or something more abstract, a metaphor for the unattainable, the ultimate prize that forever eludes us? The Garden of the Hesperides is deeply rooted in Greek mythology, often associated with the hero Heracles, who was tasked with retrieving the golden apples as one of his famous 12 labors. The manuscripts describe the garden as lying at the edge of the known world, a place so remote that it was almost beyond imagination. Some ancient texts suggest it was located in North Africa, while others point to the Canary Islands off the coast of modern-day Spain. This ambiguity has only added to its allure, as scholars and adventurers alike have tried to pinpoint its exact location. What makes this garden so intriguing is not just its golden apples, but the layers of meaning woven into its story. For the ancient Greeks, the garden represented the ultimate prize, a reward that required immense strength, courage, and perseverance to attain. The presence of the dragon, Ladon, symbolizes the challenges and obstacles that stand between humanity and its deepest desires. And yet, the garden is also a place of beauty and tranquility, a reminder that the pursuit of the divine often leads us to the most extraordinary places both within and outside ourselves. Could the Garden of the Hesperides have been a real place, perhaps a fertile oasis or a sacred grove revered by ancient cultures? Some historians believe it might have been inspired by real locations, such as the lush valleys of North Africa or the volcanic landscapes of the Canary Islands, where the natural abundance could have sparked the imagination of early travelers. Others argue that the garden is purely symbolic, a representation of humanity's eternal quest for immortality and enlightenment. This duality between myth and reality is what makes the Garden of the Hesperides so compelling. It's a story that transcends time, speaking to the universal human desire to achieve the impossible, to touch the divine, and to find meaning in a world full of mystery. The manuscripts that describe it are more than just ancient texts. They're a window into the hopes and dreams of a civilization that sought to understand its place in the cosmos. As we explore the mystery of the Garden of the Hesperides, we're reminded that some legends are not meant to be solved but to be pondered. They invite us to ask questions, to dream, and to imagine what might lie just beyond the horizon. Whether it was a real place or a powerful metaphor, the garden continues to captivate us, its golden apples forever shimmering in the realm of possibility. And in that sense, perhaps the true treasure of the Hesperides is not the apples themselves, but the journey they inspire, a journey that leads us to the very edge of what we know and beyond. Nestled high in the rugged peaks of the Himalayas, where the air grows thin and the silence of the mountains seems to whisper ancient secrets, lies a legend that has captivated spiritual seekers for centuries, the Kingdom of Shambhala. Described in Tibetan Buddhist manuscripts as a hidden sanctuary of peace and enlightenment, Shambhala is more than just a place, it's a vision of a better world. A realm where harmony reigns, where wisdom is boundless, and where only the pure of heart can enter. But is Shambhala a physical kingdom, hidden among the snow-capped summits, or is it a metaphor for the journey toward inner peace? The answer, much like the kingdom itself, remains shrouded in mystery. The concept of Shambhala first appears in ancient Buddhist texts, which describe it as a land of unparalleled beauty and spiritual richness. According to these manuscripts, Shambhala is not just a refuge from the chaos of the world, it's a beacon of hope, a place where humanity will one day turn in its darkest hour. The prophecies surrounding Shambhala speak of a future golden age, a time when the kingdom's teachings will guide the world toward enlightenment. But where exactly is this fabled land? Some believe it lies hidden in the remote valleys of the Himalayas, accessible only through secret mountain passes. Others argue that Shambhala exists on a different plane altogether, a spiritual realm that can only be reached through meditation and inner transformation. This duality between the physical and the metaphysical is what makes Shambhala so fascinating. For centuries, explorers and spiritual seekers have ventured into the Himalayas, driven by the hope of finding this utopia. Some claim to have glimpsed its golden spires or felt its presence in the stillness of the mountains, while others return with nothing but questions. The search for Shambhala has even inspired modern expeditions, with adventurers using maps, satellite imagery, and ancient texts to piece together clues. Yet, despite these efforts, the kingdom remains elusive, as if it chooses to reveal itself only to those truly ready to receive its wisdom. But perhaps the true essence of Shambhala lies not in its physical location, but in what it represents. For many, Shambhala is a symbol of the human capacity for growth, compassion, and enlightenment. It's a reminder that the journey toward peace and understanding begins within, and that the greatest treasures are often those that cannot be seen or touched. The manuscripts that describe Shambhala are not just maps to a hidden kingdom, they're guides to a way of life, offering lessons in mindfulness, compassion, and the pursuit of truth. The enduring allure of Shambhala speaks to something deep within us all, a longing for a better world, a place where the struggles of life give way to harmony and understanding. Whether it's a real kingdom hidden in the Himalayas or a metaphor for the inner journey, Shambhala continues to inspire those who seek meaning in an often chaotic world. Its story invites us to look beyond the surface, to question what we know, and to imagine what might be possible if we dared to dream. As we contemplate the mystery of Shambhala, we're reminded that some legends are not just about finding a place, they're about discovering ourselves. The search for Shambhala, then, is not just a quest for a hidden kingdom, but a journey toward the light within us all. And perhaps, in the end, that's the greatest treasure of all. From the spiritual heights of Shambhala, we now descend into a world of epic battles and timeless legends, the fabled city of Troy. For centuries, Troy was thought to be nothing more than a myth, a story spun from the imagination of the ancient Greek poet Homer. His epic tales, the Iliad and the Odyssey, painted a vivid picture of a city with towering walls, a 10-year siege, and a wooden horse that changed the course of history. But could such a place have truly existed, or was it simply a poetic creation, a cautionary tale about pride, love, and the cost of war? The turning point came in the 19th century, when a German archaeologist named Heinrich Schliemann set out to prove that Troy was more than just a story. Armed with Homer's manuscripts and an unshakable belief, Schliemann began digging in what is now modern-day Turkey. What he uncovered would rewrite history, the ruins of an ancient city, layer upon layer, each one telling a story of its own. Among the artifacts were golden treasures, remnants of fortifications, and evidence of a civilization that had thrived and fallen centuries ago. Schliemann was convinced he had found the Troy of legend, but the discovery raised as many questions as it answered. Was this the Troy of Homer's epics, the city where Helen's beauty launched 1,000 ships and where Achilles' wrath turned the tide of battle? Some scholars argue that the Trojan War, as described by Homer, was likely a poetic embellishment of real events, a conflict perhaps rooted in trade disputes or territorial rivalries. Others believe the war may have been entirely fictional, a narrative device to explore themes of heroism, fate, and human folly. The truth, it seems, lies somewhere in between. What makes Troy so compelling is not just its connection to one of the greatest stories ever told, but the layers of history buried beneath its ruins. Each layer represents a different era, a different Troy, built and rebuilt over thousands of years. The city was a crossroads of civilizations, a place where East met West and where cultures clashed and blended. Its strategic location made it a prize worth fighting for, and its fall marked the end of an era, or so the legend goes. The discovery of Troy also reminds us of the power of stories to shape our understanding of the past. Homer's poems, once dismissed as mere fiction, led to one of the most significant archaeological finds in history. They remind us that myths often contain kernels of truth, and that the line between history and legend can be blurrier than we think. As we explore the ruins of Troy, we're left with more than just questions about the past. We're reminded of the enduring power of storytelling, the way it connects us to those who came before and helps us make sense of our own world. Whether the Trojan War was real or imagined, its legacy lives on, not just in the stones of Troy, but in the stories we continue to tell about ourselves. And perhaps, in the end, that's the true treasure of Troy, not the gold or the glory, but the way it inspires us to keep searching for the truth, even in the most unlikely places. As we leave the storied ruins of Troy, our journey now takes us to a place steeped in magic and myth, the Island of Avalon. Picture an island shrouded in mist, where the air hums with enchantment and time itself seems to stand still. This is Avalon, a name that has echoed through the ages, a place where legend and history intertwine in the most tantalizing ways. According to medieval manuscripts, Avalon was the sanctuary where King Arthur was taken after his fateful battle at Camlan, a place of healing and renewal. But was Avalon a real island or something more ethereal? A gateway to the otherworld, perhaps? The answer, much like the mists that veil it, remains elusive. Avalon's connection to King Arthur is central to its mystique. The manuscripts describe it as a place of unparalleled beauty, where apple trees bore golden fruit and the goddess Morgan Le Fay, Arthur's half-sister, wielded her magic. This imagery has led many to associate Avalon with Glastonbury, a town in southwestern England known for its rich Arthurian lore. In the 12th century, monks at Glastonbury Abbey claimed to have discovered the graves of Arthur and his queen, Guinevere, further cementing the link between the town and the legend. But is this connection fact or fiction? Some historians argue that the monks' discovery was a clever ploy to attract pilgrims, while others believe it could hold a kernel of truth. What makes Avalon so captivating is not just its ties to Arthurian legend, but the layers of meaning it carries. For some, Avalon is a symbol of the afterlife, a paradise where heroes find eternal rest. Its association with apples, often seen as symbols of immortality, adds to this interpretation. Others see Avalon as a real place, a refuge hidden in the marshes or hills of ancient Britain. The mention of Morgan Le Fay, a figure who straddles the line between sorceress and healer, deepens the mystery. Could she have been a historical figure, a priestess or queen whose story was mythologized over time? The allure of Avalon lies in its ambiguity. It's a place that exists at the intersection of reality and imagination, a testament to humanity's enduring fascination with the unknown. The manuscripts that describe it are not just historical records, they're invitations to explore, to question, and to dream. Whether Avalon was a physical island or a metaphor for the afterlife, its story continues to inspire those who seek to uncover the truth behind the legend. As we delve into the mystery of Avalon, we're reminded that some places are not meant to be found on a map. They exist in the stories we tell, in the hopes and dreams we carry with us. Avalon, with its mists and magic, invites us to look beyond the surface, to imagine what might lie hidden in the folds of history and in the depths of our own hearts. And perhaps, in the end, that's where the true magic of Avalon resides. From the enchanted mists of Avalon, we now journey to a land that seems almost too good to be true, a place where the rivers flow with wine, roasted geese fly straight into your mouth, and the very streets are paved with pies. This is the Land of Kukeni, a medieval fantasy so vivid, so indulgent, that it feels like a dream plucked straight from the pages of a storybook. Described in medieval European manuscripts as a utopia of endless abundance, Kukeni was a land where hunger and toil were unknown, and every day was a feast. But was it merely a whimsical escape, or could this fantastical land have roots in reality? The concept of Kukeni first emerged in the 13th century, a time when life for many Europeans was marked by hardship, famine, and relentless labor. In this context, the idea of a land where food was plentiful and work was obsolete must have seemed like the ultimate fantasy. Manuscripts describe Kukeni as lying far to the west, often beyond the horizon, in a place that some believed could be reached by sailing into the Atlantic. The descriptions are rich with detail: mountains of cheese, trees dripping with honey, and rivers of milk and wine. It's a vision so vivid that it feels almost tangible, as if Kukeni were a real place just waiting to be discovered. Some historians have speculated that Kukeni might have been inspired by real locations, such as the Azores or other Atlantic islands. These distant lands, newly discovered or rumored, could have sparked the imaginations of medieval Europeans who saw them as potential paradises. The Azores, with their lush landscapes and fertile soil, might have seemed like the perfect embodiment of Kukeni's abundance. Others argue that Kukeni was purely a product of imagination, a collective dream born out of the struggles of medieval life. But perhaps the true significance of Kukeni lies not in its physical location, but in what it reveals about the people who dreamed of it. For medieval Europeans, Kukeni was more than just a place, it was a reflection of their deepest desires. In a world where survival was a daily battle, the idea of a land without want or work was a powerful one. It spoke to the universal human longing for comfort, security, and joy. The manuscripts that describe Kukeni are not just whimsical fantasies, they're windows into the hopes and fears of an entire era. What makes Kukeni so fascinating is the way it blurs the line between myth and reality. Could it have been a vision of the New World, glimpsed faintly through the fog of medieval ignorance? Or was it a metaphor for the afterlife, a paradise where the weary could find rest? The answer, as with so many of these ancient mysteries, lies somewhere in between. Kukeni is a reminder that our dreams, no matter how fantastical, often hold a kernel of truth, a reflection of the world we live in and the world we wish to create. As we explore the legend of Kukeni, we're reminded that some stories are not just about the places they describe, but the people who tell them. Whether it was a medieval escape or a glimpse of something more, Kukeni continues to captivate us, its rivers of wine and mountains of cheese forever shimmering on the horizon of our imagination. And perhaps, in the end, that's where its true magic lies, not in the land itself, but in the dreams it inspires and the hope it offers to those who dare to believe in a better world. Now, let's shift our focus to a city that once stood as a beacon of brilliance in the heart of the Sahara, Timbuktu. Imagine a place where caravans laden with gold, salt, and ivory converged, where scholars from across the Islamic world gathered to exchange ideas, and where manuscripts containing the wisdom of centuries were carefully preserved. This was Timbuktu at its zenith, a city so renowned that its name became synonymous with the farthest reaches of the known world. But how did this thriving metropolis, once celebrated as a center of trade and learning, fade into obscurity, and what secrets remain buried within its ancient libraries? Timbuktu's golden age spanned from the 13th to the 16th century, a time when it was a vital hub along the trans-Saharan trade routes. The city's wealth was legendary, with tales of its riches reaching as far as Europe. Gold flowed into Timbuktu from the south, while salt, books, and luxury goods arrived from the north. But Timbuktu was more than just a trading post, it was a cultural and intellectual powerhouse. Manuscripts from this period reveal a city teeming with scholars, poets, and astronomers, all drawn to its vibrant atmosphere of learning. Libraries brimmed with texts on law, medicine, philosophy, and science, many of which were meticulously copied and preserved by hand. Yet, as the centuries passed, Timbuktu's fortunes began to wane. The rise of European sea trade routes diminished the importance of overland caravans, and political instability further weakened the city's position. By the 19th century, Timbuktu had become a shadow of its former self, its once great libraries hidden beneath layers of sand and time. For many, the city became a symbol of remoteness, a place so far removed from the modern world that it seemed almost mythical. But Timbuktu's story doesn't end there. In recent years, efforts have been made to uncover and preserve the city's ancient manuscripts, many of which had been passed down through generations in private collections. These texts, written in Arabic and local African languages, offer a window into a sophisticated intellectual tradition that challenges outdated notions of African history. They reveal a society that valued education, debated complex ideas, and made significant contributions to fields like astronomy and medicine. What caused Timbuktu's decline? Some point to external factors like the shifting tides of global trade, while others highlight internal conflicts and invasions that disrupted the city's stability. But perhaps the most compelling explanation lies in the fragility of human achievement. Timbuktu's rise was a testament to the power of knowledge and exchange, but its fall reminds us that even the greatest civilizations are not immune to the forces of change. Today, Timbuktu stands as a symbol of resilience. Its libraries, though battered by time, still hold untold treasures waiting to be rediscovered. the city's legacy is a reminder that knowledge once lost can be found again, and that the stories of the past have much to teach us about the present. As we explore the mystery of Timbuktu, we're reminded that some places are not just locations on a map, but living testaments to the enduring power of human curiosity and creativity. And in that sense, perhaps the true treasure of Timbuktu is not its gold, but the wisdom it continues to offer to those who seek it. Deep within the shifting sands of the Arabian desert lies a tale so grand, so haunting, that it has earned the name Atlantis of the Sands. This is Eram, a city of towering pillars and unimaginable wealth, said to have vanished beneath a divine sandstorm. Punishment for its arrogance, mentioned in the Quran and ancient Arabian manuscripts, Eram has captivated the imaginations of scholars and adventurers for centuries. But was it a real place swallowed by the desert's relentless embrace, or a powerful allegory about the dangers of pride? The answer, like the city itself, remains buried beneath layers of sand and time. The story of Eram is deeply rooted in Arabian lore, where it's described as a place of unparalleled splendor. Its people, the Ad, were said to have built a city so magnificent that it rivaled the heavens. But their wealth and power led to hubris, and they turned away from the divine. In response, the legends say, a cataclysmic sandstorm was unleashed, burying Eram and its people forever. This tale has echoed through the ages, a stark reminder of the consequences of overreaching ambition. But could Eram have been more than just a cautionary tale? Some historians and archaeologists believe the city might have been inspired by a real place, perhaps a wealthy trading hub that flourished in the ancient Arabian Peninsula. The region, after all, was crisscrossed by caravan routes that connected distant civilizations, and it's not hard to imagine a city rising to prominence along these paths. The descriptions of Eram's towering pillars and grand architecture have led some to suggest it could have been located in modern-day Oman or Yemen, areas rich in archaeological potential. The search for Eram has not been without its tantalizing discoveries. In the early 1990s, satellite imagery revealed the outlines of a vast network of ancient roads and settlements in the deserts of Oman, sparking excitement that one of these sites could be the Lost City. While no definitive evidence of Eram has been found, these findings have fueled the belief that the legend may have roots in historical reality. Could the Atlantis of the sands be waiting beneath the dunes, its secrets preserved by the very sands that consumed it? What makes Eram so compelling is not just the question of its existence, but the layers of meaning woven into its story. On one level, it's a tale of divine retribution, a warning against the perils of arrogance and excess. On another, it's a testament to the fragility of human achievement, a reminder that even the greatest cities can be lost to time. The manuscripts that mention Eram are more than just historical records. They're a mirror, reflecting our own fears and aspirations, our triumphs and failures. As we explore the mystery of Eram, we're reminded that some legends are not just about uncovering the past, but understanding the present. Whether Eram was a real city or a cautionary tale, its story continues to resonate, inviting us to reflect on the choices we make and the legacies we leave behind. And perhaps, in the end, that's where the true treasure of Eram lies, not in its gold or its pillars, but in the lessons it teaches us about humility, resilience, and the enduring power of storytelling. High above the northern horizon, where the sun lingers endlessly in the summer sky, lies a legend that has fascinated storytellers for millennia: the Land of Hyperborea. According to ancient Greek manuscripts, this was a paradise unlike any other, a place where winter's chill never reached and the people lived in perfect harmony with nature. Imagine a land where the sun never set, where golden light bathed endless fields, and where the inhabitants were said to live for 1,000 years in unbroken happiness. But was Hyperborea a real place, hidden somewhere in the far reaches of the north, or a beautiful metaphor for an unattainable ideal? The answer, much like the sun that never dips below its horizon, remains tantalizingly out of reach. The earliest mentions of Hyperborea come from the works of Greek historians and poets who described it as a land beyond the north wind, hence its name, which means beyond Boreas. These texts paint a picture of a utopia where sickness and strife were unknown, and where the people worshipped Apollo, the god of light and music. The Greeks believed that Apollo visited Hyperborea during the winter months, drawn by its eternal sunshine and the purity of its people. This connection to the divine added to the land's allure, making it a symbol of perfection in the ancient world. But where exactly was Hyperborea? Some theories point to Scandinavia, with its long summer days and rich folklore. Others suggest the Arctic, where the midnight sun creates a landscape of perpetual daylight during certain times of the year. There's even speculation that Hyperborea could have been inspired by ancient trade routes that brought stories of distant northern cultures back to the Mediterranean. The Greeks, after all, were masterful storytellers, weaving fact and fiction into tales that captivated their audiences. What's particularly intriguing is how Hyperborea reflects the ancient Greeks' fascination with the unknown. To them, the far north was a place of mystery, a blank space on the map where anything seemed possible. Hyperborea became a canvas for their imagination, a way to explore ideas about harmony, longevity, and the divine. It's a reminder that myths often emerge from our attempts to make sense of the world, to find meaning in the places we cannot see or fully understand. Yet Hyperborea is more than just a story. For some, it represents a real cultural exchange between the ancient Greeks and the peoples of the north. Could the tales of Hyperborea have been inspired by encounters with northern tribes, whose way of life seemed almost otherworldly to Mediterranean travelers? The Sami people of Scandinavia, for example, have traditions and beliefs that align with some of the descriptions of Hyperborea, from their reverence for the sun to their deep connection with the natural world. This connection raises the possibility that Hyperborea was not just a myth, but a reflection of real interactions between cultures. At the same time, it's worth considering whether Hyperborea was always meant to be a physical place. For many, it serves as a symbol of an ideal society, a reminder of what humanity could achieve if it lived in balance with nature and the divine. The land's eternal sunshine and boundless joy make it a powerful metaphor for the pursuit of happiness and enlightenment, themes that resonate just as strongly today as they did thousands of years ago. As we explore the mystery of Hyperborea, we're reminded that some legends are not just about finding a place, they're about discovering what it means to be human. Whether it was a real land in the far north or a vision of a perfect world, Hyperborea continues to inspire us to look beyond the horizon, to imagine what might lie in the spaces between myth and reality. And in that sense, perhaps the true magic of Hyperborea is not in its golden fields or eternal sun, but in the way it invites us to dream of a better world, one that might still exist if only in our hearts. Nestled within the rugged mountains of southern Jordan, a city of unparalleled beauty and mystery rises from the red sandstone cliffs Petra, the Rose City. Picture this, towering facades carved directly into the rock, their intricate details glowing in the sunlight like a mirage. This was once a bustling trade hub, a crossroads of civilizations where caravans laden with spices, silk, and incense passed through its narrow gorge known as the Sick. But while Petra is a real place, its story is far from fully told. Ancient manuscripts speak of its grandeur, of a city so ingenious in its design that it seemed almost otherworldly. Yet, for all we know about Petra, there's so much more that remains hidden beneath its sands. What caused this once thriving metropolis to fade into obscurity? And what treasures might still lie undiscovered within its walls? The story of Petra begins around the 4th century BCE, when the Nabateans, a nomadic Arab tribe, transformed it into a thriving center of trade. Situated at the crossroads of key routes linking Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean, Petra became a melting pot of cultures, ideas, and wealth. The Nabateans were master engineers, harnessing the scarce water resources of the desert to sustain their city. They built an elaborate system of channels, cisterns, and reservoirs, ensuring that Petra could flourish even in the harshest conditions. The manuscripts that mention Petra often marvel at its ingenuity, describing it as a marvel of human achievement. But Petra's true brilliance lies in its architecture. The city's most iconic structure, the treasury, or Al-Kosne, is a masterpiece of rock-cut design. Its towering columns and intricate carvings are a testament to the skill and artistry of the Nabateans. Yet, despite its fame, the treasury is just one of many wonders in Petra. The city is dotted with tombs, temples, and theaters, each one a window into the lives of those who once called this place home. The manuscripts hint at even greater structures, perhaps still buried beneath the sands, waiting to be uncovered. So, what led to Petra's decline? Some point to the rise of sea trade routes, which diminished the importance of overland caravans. Others cite natural disasters such as earthquakes, which damaged the city's infrastructure. There's also evidence of political instability and shifting alliances that may have weakened Petra's position as a trade hub. By the 7th century CE, the city had been largely abandoned, its once bustling streets reclaimed by the desert. Yet, even in its decline, Petra's legacy endured. The manuscripts that mention it speak not just of its physical beauty, but of its resilience, a city that rose from the desert and left an indelible mark on history. Today, Petra stands as a symbol of human creativity and endurance. Its towering facades and hidden tombs continue to captivate archaeologists and adventurers alike, each discovery shedding new light on its storied past. But the mystery of Petra is far from solved. What secrets still lie buried beneath its sands? Could there be undiscovered chambers filled with treasures, or perhaps texts that reveal more about the Nabateans and their way of life? The manuscripts offer tantalizing clues, but the full story of Petra remains a puzzle, waiting to be pieced together. As we explore the wonders of Petra, we're reminded that some places are more than just locations, their stories carved in stone. The Rose City invites us to marvel at the ingenuity of its builders, to ponder the forces that shaped its rise and fall, and to imagine what might still be hidden within its ancient walls. Petra's legacy is a testament to the enduring power of human creativity, a reminder that even in the harshest environments, beauty and innovation can flourish. And perhaps in the end, that's the true treasure of Petra, not the gold or the artifacts, but the story it tells about the resilience of the human spirit. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, where the light of the sun never reaches, lies a legend that has fascinated seekers of the unknown for centuries, the Kingdom of Agartha. Imagine a world hidden within the very crust of our planet, a subterranean realm of vast caverns, glowing crystals, and an advanced civilization far beyond our own. Ancient manuscripts and esoteric texts describe Agartha as a place of unparalleled wisdom, where beings of great knowledge and power reside, guarding secrets that could transform humanity. But is Agartha a literal underground kingdom or a profound metaphor for the journey toward inner enlightenment? The answer, much like the realm itself, remains shrouded in mystery. The concept of Agartha first emerged in the 19th century, rooted in the writings of European mystics and explorers. These texts describe it as a network of vast underground cities connected by tunnels that span the globe. At its heart, they say, lies Shambhala, a sacred city ruled by a council of enlightened beings known as the Great White Brotherhood. According to these accounts, Agartha's inhabitants possess advanced technology and spiritual knowledge, far surpassing anything known to the surface world. Some even claim that this hidden kingdom has influenced major historical events, guiding humanity from the shadows. But how did the idea of an underground civilization take hold? One theory ties Agartha to the hollow earth hypothesis, a belief that the earth is not a solid sphere but contains vast habitable spaces within. This idea, though scientifically discredited, has captured the imagination of many, inspiring everything from fantastical novels to real-world expeditions. Others argue that Agartha is more symbolic than literal, representing the hidden depths of the human psyche, a place where true wisdom and enlightenment can be found through introspection and spiritual practice. What makes Agartha so compelling is the way it blurs the line between myth and reality. Could there be a kernel of truth in these stories? Some point to ancient legends from various cultures, such as the Tibetan belief in hidden valleys or the Greek tales of underworld realms, as possible inspirations for Agartha. Even today, explorers and researchers claim to have found entrances to this hidden kingdom, from the remote caves of the Himalayas to the dense jungles of South America. Yet, no definitive evidence has ever been uncovered, leaving the mystery tantalizingly unresolved. At the same time, Agartha serves as a powerful metaphor for humanity's eternal quest for knowledge and truth. Its depiction as a place of enlightenment and wisdom resonates deeply, reminding us that the greatest discoveries often lie within ourselves. The manuscripts that mention Agartha are not just blueprints to a hidden world. They're invitations to explore the unknown, to question what we think we know, and to seek the light in even the darkest of places. As we delve into the mystery of Agartha, we're reminded that some legends are not just about finding a place, they're about finding ourselves. Whether it's a subterranean kingdom or a symbol of inner transformation, Agartha continues to inspire those who dare to dream of a world beyond the surface. A world where the greatest treasures are not gold or technology, but the truths we uncover along the way. And perhaps, in the end, that's the true magic of Agartha, not its hidden cities or glowing crystals, but the way it encourages us to keep searching, to keep wondering, and to keep reaching for the light wherever it may lead. From the hidden depths of Agartha, we now turn our attention to a legend that has captured the imagination of explorers, scholars, and dreamers for over 2 millennia: the lost island of Atlantis. Picture a civilization so advanced, so prosperous that it seemed to rival the gods themselves. This is Atlantis, a name that has become synonymous with mystery and wonder. Described in the manuscripts of the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, Atlantis was said to be a utopia of towering temples, lush gardens, and advanced technology, ruled by a wise and just society. But in a single day and night of calamity, the island was swallowed by the sea, vanishing without a trace. Was Atlantis a real place, a cautionary tale, or something in between? The search for answers continues to this day, drawing us into one of history's greatest enigmas. Plato's account of Atlantis is our primary source, and it's as vivid as it is tantalizing. He describes it as a vast island located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, believed to be the modern-day Strait of Gibraltar. According to his manuscripts, Atlantis was a naval power that conquered parts of Europe and Africa before its eventual downfall. Plato's story, told through his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, paints a picture of a society at its peak, a place where the natural and the divine coexisted in perfect harmony. But this harmony was shattered by the arrogance of its people, who sought to conquer even the gods themselves. As punishment, the island was destroyed in a cataclysmic event, sinking beneath the waves and vanishing forever. This dramatic tale has fueled countless theories about Atlantis's existence. Some argue that it's purely a myth, a parable crafted by Plato to illustrate the dangers of hubris and the fragility of human power. Others believe that Atlantis was inspired by real events, such as the eruption of the volcanic island of Thule, modern-day Santorini, around 1600 BC. This catastrophic event devastated the Minoan civilization, leading some to speculate that the memory of this disaster could have influenced Plato's story. The parallels are striking: a powerful island civilization, a sudden and violent destruction, and a legacy that lingers in the collective memory. But the search for Atlantis doesn't stop there. Over the centuries, countless locations have been proposed as the possible site of the lost island. From the Caribbean to Antarctica, from the Azores to the Mediterranean, theories abound. Some even suggest that Atlantis could have been part of a larger, now submerged landmass, such as the legendary continent of Lemuria or the hypothetical land of Doggerland in the North Sea. Each theory comes with its own set of clues, from underwater ruins to ancient maps, but no definitive evidence has ever been found. What makes Atlantis so enduring is not just the question of its existence, but what it represents. On one level, it's a story about the rise and fall of civilizations, a reminder that even the greatest societies are not immune to collapse. On another, it's a symbol of humanity's eternal quest for knowledge and perfection. The manuscripts that describe Atlantis are more than just historical records. They're an invitation to explore, to question, and to dream. They challenge us to consider not just where Atlantis might have been, but what it means to us today. As we delve into the mystery of Atlantis, we're reminded that some legends are not just about uncovering the past, but about understanding ourselves. Whether it's a real place or a powerful metaphor, Atlantis continues to inspire us to push beyond the boundaries of what we know, to seek answers in the unknown, and to imagine what might lie beneath the waves and within ourselves. And perhaps, in the end, that's the true legacy of Atlantis. Not a lost island, but a story that reminds us of the enduring power of curiosity, imagination, and the human spirit. As we leave the sunken mysteries of Atlantis, our journey now takes us to the sun-scorched landscapes of the American Southwest, where the legend of the 7 cities of Cibola once ignited the dreams of Spanish conquistadors. Picture this: a cluster of golden cities, their streets paved with unimaginable wealth, hidden somewhere beyond the horizon. This was the promise that drove men like Francisco Vázquez de Coronado to embark on perilous expeditions across uncharted territories. But were these cities real, or were they born from the whispers of ambition and the allure of the unknown? The legend of Cibola first emerged in the 16th century, fueled by tales from indigenous peoples and the imaginations of European explorers. According to these accounts, the 7 cities were said to be brimming with gold, their inhabitants living in unparalleled splendor. One of the most famous sources of this myth was the story of Alvar Núñez Cabeza de Vaca, a Spanish explorer who claimed to have heard rumors of these cities during his travels. His reports, combined with indigenous legends, painted a picture so vivid that it became impossible for the Spanish crown to resist. In 1540, Coronado led an expedition to find Cibola, driven by the promise of riches and glory. What he discovered, however, was far from the golden utopia he had imagined. Instead of gleaming cities, he found the Zuni pueblo of Huaca, a modest settlement of adobe structures. While the Zuni people were skilled artisans and farmers, their way of life bore little resemblance to the fantastical descriptions of Cibola. Coronado's quest ended in disappointment, but the legend endured, evolving over time into a symbol of both the allure and the folly of exploration. So, what inspired the myth of Cibola? Some historians believe it may have been rooted in real Native American settlements, such as the ancestral Puebloan communities of the Southwest. These settlements, with their multi-story buildings and intricate trade networks, could have been seen as evidence of great wealth by early explorers. Others argue that Cibola was a product of wishful thinking, a story crafted to justify the risks and costs of colonization. The indigenous peoples, for their part, may have used the legend to their advantage, steering the Spanish away from their lands or toward less significant targets. What makes the mystery of Cibola so compelling is not just the question of its existence, but what it reveals about the age of exploration. It's a story of ambition and disillusionment, of the clash between myth and reality. The manuscripts that mention Cibola are more than just historical records. They're a window into a time when the world was still full of unknowns, when every map held the potential for discovery, and when the line between fact and fiction was often blurred. Today, the legend of Cibola continues to captivate us, not as a tale of lost gold, but as a reflection of humanity's enduring quest for the extraordinary. Whether it was inspired by real settlements or born entirely from imagination, Cibola reminds us of the power of stories to shape our understanding of the world. It's a reminder that some mysteries are not meant to be solved, but to be explored, to inspire us to ask questions and to seek the truth, even when the answers remain just out of reach. As we ponder the enigma of Cibola, we're reminded that the greatest treasures are often not the ones we find, but the journeys we take in search of them. And perhaps, in the end, that's the true legacy of the seven cities, not the gold they promised, but the stories they left behind, and the lessons they continue to teach us about curiosity, ambition, and the human spirit. From the sun-drenched deserts of the American Southwest, we now journey to a place steeped in biblical lore, a land so rich in gold and treasures that its name has become synonymous with wealth and abundance. This is Ophir, a name that has echoed through the ages, whispered in the pages of ancient manuscripts as a place of unimaginable riches. Described as a source of gold, precious stones, and exotic goods, Ophir was said to be a trading partner of King Solomon himself, supplying the materials for his legendary temple in Jerusalem. But where was this land of plenty, and could it have been more than just a symbol of prosperity? The mystery of Ophir continues to captivate historians, archaeologists, and treasure hunters alike, each searching for clues to its true identity. The earliest mentions of Ophir come from biblical texts, which describe it as a distant land accessible only by sea. According to these accounts, King Solomon's fleet of ships would set sail from the port of Ezion-Geber, returning months later laden with gold, almug wood, and precious stones. The manuscripts paint a vivid picture of Ophir's wealth, but they offer few details about its location. Over the centuries, this ambiguity has sparked a wide range of theories, each one offering a tantalizing glimpse into the possible whereabouts of this legendary land. Some scholars argue that Ophir was located in Africa, pointing to the ancient gold-rich regions of present-day Zimbabwe or Ethiopia. The ruins of Great Zimbabwe, with their intricate stonework and evidence of gold mining, have often been cited as a potential candidate. Others believe Ophir might have been in India or the Arabian Peninsula, regions known for their historical trade in spices, gems, and gold. Still, others propose more far-flung locations, such as South America, suggesting that Ophir could have been part of an ancient transoceanic trade network long before the age of Columbus. What makes Ophir so intriguing is not just the question of its location, but the layers of meaning it carries. On one level, it's a story about wealth and abundance, a testament to the allure of gold and the lengths to which people will go to obtain it. But on another, Ophir represents something deeper, a symbol of prosperity, yes, but also of the human desire to connect with distant lands and cultures. The biblical manuscripts that mention Ophir are more than just records of trade. They're a window into a world where the unknown held endless possibilities, where the horizon was a boundary to be crossed, not a limit. Could Ophir have been a real place, a thriving trading hub whose identity has been lost to time? Some historians believe so, pointing to archaeological evidence of ancient trade routes that spanned continents. Others argue that Ophir might have been a collective name for several regions, each contributing to the flow of goods that reached Solomon's kingdom. And then there are those who see Ophir as a powerful metaphor, a representation of the ideal of wealth and prosperity that transcends any single location. The search for Ophir is more than just a quest for treasure. It's a journey into the heart of human ambition and curiosity. Whether it was a real place or a symbol of abundance, Ophir continues to inspire us to explore, to question, and to dream. Its story reminds us that the pursuit of wealth is as old as civilization itself, and that the mysteries of the past still have much to teach us about the world we live in today. As we delve into the enigma of Ophir, we're reminded that some legends are not just about finding a place, they're about understanding the forces that drive us. The gold and gems of Ophir may remain hidden, but the questions it raises about trade, culture, and human aspiration are as relevant now as they were thousands of years ago. And perhaps, in the end, that's the true treasure of Ophir, not its riches, but the stories it tells about our shared history and the timeless quest for the extraordinary. Now, let's set our sights on the shores of Western India, where the Arabian Sea meets the ancient land of legends. This is the story of Dwarka, a city so extraordinary that it has been immortalized in the sacred texts of Hinduism as the kingdom of Lord Krishna. Picture a metropolis of unparalleled beauty, its towering spires gleaming in the sunlight, its streets bustling with life, but Dwarka's story doesn't end there. According to the ancient manuscripts, this magnificent city was swallowed by the sea, vanishing beneath the waves in a single, fateful moment. Was Dwarka a real place, a thriving civilization lost to the tides of time, or is it a mythical city, a symbol of divine power and human impermanence? The answer lies somewhere in the murky depths where myth and archaeology converge. The tale of Dwarka is deeply rooted in Indian mythology, particularly in the Mahabharata and other Hindu texts. These manuscripts describe it as a city of immense wealth and splendor, built by Krishna himself as a refuge for his people. Dwarka was said to be a fortress of gold, its walls so high and strong that no enemy could breach them. It was a place of harmony and prosperity where the divine and the mortal coexisted in perfect balance. Yet, as the story goes, Krishna's departure from the earthly realm marked the end of an era, and the city was claimed by the sea as if to erase its memory. But could there be more to this story than myth? In the 1980s, underwater excavations off the coast of Gujarat revealed intriguing structures that seemed to match the descriptions of ancient Dwarka. Stone blocks, pottery shards, and even what appeared to be the remains of a harbor were discovered beneath the waves. These findings have sparked a heated debate among archaeologists and historians. Could these underwater ruins be the remnants of an ancient city, one that inspired the legends of Dwarka? The evidence is tantalizing but not conclusive. The structures found underwater date back to around 1500 BCE, a time that aligns with the traditional dating of Krishna's life. Some scholars argue that these ruins could belong to a prosperous port city, perhaps one that served as a major trade hub in its day. Others caution against jumping to conclusions, pointing out that the connection between the ruins and the mythological Dwarka is still speculative. What makes Dwarka so fascinating is the way it straddles the line between legend and reality. On one hand, it's a story of divine creation and destruction, a reminder of the transient nature of human endeavors. On the other, it's a mystery that invites us to explore the past, to uncover the truths that may lie hidden beneath the waves. The manuscripts that describe Dwarka are more than just religious texts. They're a bridge between the spiritual and the historical, offering clues that challenge us to rethink our understanding of ancient civilizations. Could Dwarka have been a real city, its story embellished over time into a grand myth? or is it a powerful metaphor, a lesson about the rise and fall of even the greatest of human achievements? The answer may never be fully known, but the search itself is a journey worth taking. As we delve into the mystery of Dwarka, we're reminded that some stories are not just about the places they describe, but the questions they inspire. And perhaps, in the end, that's where the true magic lies, not in finding the answers, but in the act of searching, of wondering, and of dreaming about what might have been. Now, let's dive into the shimmering waters of the Indian Ocean, where the whispers of a lost continent have echoed for centuries. This is the story of Lemuria, a land shrouded in mystery and speculation. Like its counterpart Mu, Lemuria is said to have been a vast continent, home to an advanced civilization that thrived long before recorded history. But in a single, earth-shaking event, it vanished beneath the waves, leaving behind only fragments of its existence in ancient manuscripts and the imaginations of modern explorers. Was Lemuria a real place, a thriving society swallowed by the ocean, or is it a tale born from the blending of science and myth? The answer lies somewhere in the depths of the Indian Ocean, where fact and fiction converge. The concept of Lemuria first emerged in the 19th century, not from ancient texts but from the work of scientists trying to explain a puzzling question. Why were lemurs, small primates found in Madagascar and India, separated by thousands of miles of ocean? To reconcile this, some geologists proposed the existence of a land bridge, or even a continent, that once connected these regions. They called this hypothetical land Lemuria, named after the lemurs that inspired the theory. Over time, however, the idea of Lemuria evolved beyond its scientific origins, becoming a canvas for spiritualists, occultists, and storytellers to paint their visions of a lost utopia. What's fascinating about Lemuria is how it straddles the line between science and myth. On one hand, the geological theory that inspired it has largely been debunked, replaced by the modern understanding of plate tectonics. On the other, Lemuria's allure as a lost civilization has only grown. Manuscripts from the 19th and early 20th centuries describe it as a paradise of towering cities, advanced technology, and a people in harmony with nature. Some even claim that Lemuria's inhabitants possessed psychic abilities or were the ancestors of modern humanity. These descriptions, while captivating, lack concrete evidence, leaving Lemuria in the realm of speculation and imagination. Could there be any truth to the legend of Lemuria? Some point to the geological history of the Indian Ocean, where vast landmasses have indeed shifted and submerged over millions of years. The idea of a sunken continent isn't entirely far-fetched, especially when considering the ancient landmass of Gondwana, which once connected Africa, India, and Antarctica. While Lemuria, as described in the manuscripts, may not align with geological reality, the concept of lost lands hidden beneath the waves continues to intrigue scientists and adventurers alike. At the same time, Lemuria serves as a powerful metaphor for humanity's fascination with the unknown. It's a reminder that our understanding of the past is always evolving, shaped by the questions we ask and the stories we tell. The manuscripts that describe Lemuria are more than just records of a lost land. They're invitations to explore the boundaries of history, science, and imagination. Whether it was a real continent or a myth born from curiosity, Lemuria challenges us to look beyond the surface, to question what we think we know, and to dream of what might lie hidden beneath the waves. As we explore the mystery of Lemuria, we're reminded that some legends are not just about uncovering the past, but about understanding the forces that shape our world. Its story, whether rooted in fact or fiction, continues to inspire us to push the boundaries of knowledge, to imagine what might have been, and to seek the truths that remain just out of reach. And perhaps, in the end, that's the true legacy of Lemuria, not a lost continent, but a story that reminds us of the enduring power of curiosity, creativity, and the human spirit. Now let's journey to the rugged coastlines of Brittany, where the waves crash against the cliffs and the wind carries whispers of a city lost to the sea. This is Wise, a place of legend and mystery, described in Breton tales and medieval manuscripts as a marvel of human ingenuity. Picture a city so grand that it rivaled the heavens, its streets bustling with life, its spires gleaming in the sunlight. But Wise was no ordinary city. It was built below sea level, protected by a colossal dike and a single, enchanted gate. According to the legends, Wise met its tragic end when the gate was opened, unleashing a flood that swallowed the city whole. Was Wise a real place, a testament to humanity's ambition, or a cautionary tale about the hubris of defying nature? The story of Wise is steeped in Breton folklore, with its roots stretching back to the early Middle Ages. The manuscripts describe it as the jewel of Brittany, a city of unparalleled beauty and wealth ruled by King Gradlon. The king's daughter, Dahut, plays a central role in the tale. Her actions, whether out of love, rebellion, or recklessness, leading to the city's downfall. The legend tells of a stormy night when Dahut opened the gate, either out of defiance or under the influence of a mysterious stranger. The sea surged in, drowning the city and its inhabitants, leaving only King Gradlon to escape on his magical horse. But could Wise have been more than just a story? Some historians and archaeologists believe the legend might have been inspired by real coastal settlements that were vulnerable to flooding. Brittany's coastline is dotted with submerged ruins and evidence of ancient communities that struggled against the encroaching sea. The city of Wise, with its massive dike and tragic end, could be a symbolic representation of these settlements, their stories passed down through generations and woven into myth. The comparison to Atlantis is hard to ignore. Both tales speak of advanced civilizations undone by their own actions, swallowed by the sea as punishment for their excess. Yet, while Atlantis is often seen as a parable about the dangers of hubris, Wise carries a more intimate tone, rooted in the culture and geography of Brittany. The manuscripts that mention Wise are not just records of a lost city, they're a window into the fears and aspirations of a people living at the mercy of the sea. What makes Wise so compelling is its dual nature as both a legend and a potential historical echo. On one level, it's a story about the power of nature and the fragility of human creations, a reminder that even the grandest of cities can be undone by a single mistake. On another, it's a testament to the resilience of storytelling, how the memories of real events can be transformed into tales that endure for centuries. Could Wise have been a real city, its name and location lost to time? Some point to the Bay of Douarnenez, where local legends say the ruins of Wise still lie beneath the waves. Others argue that Wise is a metaphor for the ongoing struggle between humanity and the natural world, a struggle that continues to play out along coastlines around the globe. As we explore the mystery of Wise, we're reminded that some stories are not just about the past, they're about the present. The tale of Wise invites us to reflect on our relationship with the environment, on the choices we make, and on the legacies we leave behind. Whether it was a real city or a powerful myth, Wise continues to captivate us, its story a timeless reminder of the delicate balance between creation and destruction and the enduring power of the sea. Now let's venture to the windswept shores of Cornwall, where the crashing waves and rugged cliffs hold secrets of a kingdom lost to the sea. This is Lioness, a land steeped in Arthurian lore and medieval legend. Picture a fertile realm, its fields lush and its villages prosperous, stretching far beyond the coastline we know today. According to the manuscripts, Lioness was a place of great beauty and significance, home to knights and heroes whose stories have echoed through the ages. But in a single catastrophic event, this kingdom was swallowed by the sea, leaving behind only whispers of its existence. Was Lioness a real place, its fate sealed by nature's wrath, or is it a tale woven from the threads of myth and memory? The answer lies somewhere between the waves and the sands of time. The earliest mentions of Lioness appear in medieval texts where it's often linked to the Arthurian legends. Some manuscripts describe it as the homeland of Sir Tristan, one of King Arthur's most loyal knights, adding to its mystique. The tales speak of a land so vast that it once connected Cornwall to the Isles of Scilly, a stretch of islands off the southwestern tip of England. But Lioness's story doesn't end with its knights and heroes. The manuscripts recount a sudden and devastating flood, a disaster so immense that it erased the kingdom from the map, leaving only a few scattered islands as remnants of its former glory. Could Lioness have been inspired by real events? Geologists point to the gradual rise in sea levels that occurred after the last ice age, a process that would have dramatically altered the coastline of Britain. The Isles of Scilly, for example, were once part of a larger landmass, and the submerged forests and ruins found in the area suggest that human settlements may have been lost to the sea. Some historians believe that Lioness could be a folk memory of these ancient changes, a way for people to make sense of the shifting landscape and the mysteries lurking beneath the waves. What makes Lioness so fascinating is how it bridges the gap between history and myth. On one hand, it's a story of heroism and tragedy, a reminder of the impermanence of human achievements. On the other, it's a tantalizing mystery that invites us to explore the connections between folklore and geological reality. The manuscripts that mention Lioness are more than just tales of a lost kingdom. They're a window into how people in the past interpreted the world around them, blending fact and fiction to create stories that endure to this day. The allure of Lioness also lies in its connection to the Arthurian legends, a body of stories that continues to captivate us. Whether it's the tragic romance of Tristan and Isolde or the noble deeds of King Arthur's knights, these tales have shaped our understanding of chivalry, honor, and the human condition. Lioness, as a setting for these stories, adds a layer of depth and intrigue, grounding the legends in a place that feels both real and mythical. Today, the mystery of Lioness continues to inspire explorers and scholars, each searching for clues to its true identity. Could it have been a real kingdom, its name and memory preserved in the folklore of Cornwall? Or is it a powerful symbol, a reminder of the forces that shape our world and the stories we tell to make sense of them? The answer may never be fully known, but the search itself is a journey worth taking. As we delve into the enigma of Lioness, we're reminded that some legends are not just about the places they describe, but the questions they inspire, questions about our past, our present, and the stories that connect us all. Whether Lioness was a real kingdom or a tale born from the tides of history, its story continues to captivate us, its legacy as enduring as the waves that now cover its lands. And perhaps, in the end, that's the true magic of Lioness, not the kingdom itself, but the way it invites us to explore the boundaries between myth and reality, and to dream of what might lie hidden beneath the sea. Now, let's set our course for the Baltic Sea, where the whispers of a once thriving city have lingered for centuries. This is Vinter, a name that conjures images of wealth, power, and a dramatic fall from grace. According to ancient Slavic manuscripts, Vinter was a bustling port city, a hub of trade and culture that rivaled even the greatest cities of its time. But like so many legendary locales, Vinter met a tragic end, swallowed by the sea in a single, catastrophic storm. Was this a real city, its story preserved in the annals of history, or a fantastical tale born from the imaginations of storytellers? The descriptions of Vinter in the manuscripts are vivid and compelling. It's depicted as a city of unparalleled splendor, its streets lined with merchants from distant lands, its coffers overflowing with gold and precious goods. The city's strategic location on the Baltic coast made it a vital link in the trade networks of Northern Europe, connecting the Slavic world with Viking traders and beyond. But with great prosperity came great peril. The manuscripts tell of a sudden and violent storm, a force of nature so immense that it swept Vinter into the depths, leaving no trace behind. This dramatic tale has drawn comparisons to Atlantis, another legendary city lost to the sea. But while Atlantis is often seen as a cautionary tale about hubris, Vinter's story feels more grounded, rooted in the maritime traditions and realities of the Baltic region. Some historians believe Vinter could have been inspired by real Viking or Slavic settlements, places like Jomsborg or Wollin, which were known for their wealth and strategic importance. These sites, now buried beneath layers of time and sediment, may have served as the basis for the legends of Vinter, their stories embellished over centuries of retelling. What makes Vinter so intriguing is its connection to the rich maritime history of Northern Europe. The Baltic Sea was a crossroads of cultures where Viking longships, Slavic traders, and Germanic tribes converged. The idea of a lost city like Vinter captures the essence of this vibrant, interconnected world, a place where the sea was both a source of prosperity and a force of destruction. The manuscripts that mention Vinter are more than just tales of a lost city. They're a window into the fears and aspirations of a people whose lives were shaped by the tides. Could Vinter have been a real city, its name and memory preserved in the folklore of the Baltic? Some archaeologists point to underwater discoveries near the coast of modern-day Germany and Poland, where remnants of ancient settlements have been found. These findings, though fragmentary, hint at the possibility of a once thriving port city that met a sudden and tragic end. Others argue that Vinter is a composite of several real places, their stories blended into a single, powerful legend. The mystery of Vinter invites us to explore not just the past, but the way stories are passed down through generations. It's a reminder that history is often a blend of fact and fiction, shaped by the voices of those who lived it and those who retold it. Whether Vinter was a real city or a symbol of the Baltic's maritime heritage, its story continues to captivate us, a testament to the enduring power of legends to connect us to the places and people of the past. As we delve into the enigma of Vinter, we're reminded that some mysteries are not just about uncovering the truth, but about understanding the world that inspired them. Its tale, whether rooted in history or imagination, offers a glimpse into the vibrant, turbulent world of the Baltic Sea, a place where the tides of fortune could rise and fall as swiftly as the waves themselves. And perhaps, in the end, that's the true legacy of Vinter, not a lost city, but a story that reminds us of the delicate balance between human ambition and the forces of nature, and the timeless allure of the sea. Now, let's journey to the heart of Mesoamerican lore, where the story of a legendary homeland has shaped the identity of one of history's most remarkable civilizations. This is Aztlan, a name that resonates with myth and mystery, deeply woven into the cultural fabric of the Aztec people. According to their ancient manuscripts, Aztlan was more than just a place, it was the cradle of their civilization, the starting point of a journey that would lead them to the founding of Tenochtitlan, the magnificent capital of their empire. But where exactly was Aztlan? Was it a real island, a physical homeland, or a symbolic origin story meant to unite a people under a shared heritage? The descriptions of Aztlan in Aztec texts are vivid and evocative. It's depicted as an island surrounded by water, a place of tranquility and abundance where the Aztecs lived in harmony before their migration southward. The manuscripts describe it as a land of reeds and herons, a serene paradise that contrasts sharply with the bustling metropolis of Tenochtitlan. For the Aztecs, Aztlan wasn't just a geographical location. It was a spiritual and cultural touchstone, a place where their identity as a people was rooted. This connection to Aztlan was so profound that it shaped their worldview, influencing everything from their rituals to their architecture. But could Aztlan have been a real place? Scholars have debated this question for centuries, with theories ranging from the deserts of northern Mexico to the American Southwest. Some historians suggest that Aztlan might have been inspired by real locations, such as the marshy lake regions of central Mexico, which would have resembled the island-like setting described in the manuscript. Others argue that Aztlan is purely symbolic, a creation myth designed to explain the Aztecs' origins and legitimize their rule over the lands they eventually conquered. What makes the search for Aztlan so compelling is how it reflects the Aztecs' deep connection to their past. Their migration story, as recorded in the manuscripts, describes a long and arduous journey guided by divine signs, including the vision of an eagle perched on a cactus with a serpent in its beak, a symbol that would later become the emblem of Tenochtitlan. This narrative, whether historical or mythical, served to unify the Aztec people, giving them a sense of purpose and destiny. It's a reminder that stories of origin, whether rooted in fact or fiction, play a powerful role in shaping a culture's identity. Modern efforts to locate Aztlan have drawn on archaeology, linguistics, and even genetics, but the answers remain elusive. Some scholars point to the parallels between Aztlan and other Mesoamerican origin myths, suggesting that it may have been part of a broader cultural tradition. Others see Aztlan as a metaphor for the human quest for belonging, a universal story of leaving one home to find another. As we explore the mystery of Aztlan, we're reminded that some places are not just locations on a map, they're stories alive in the hearts and minds of those who tell them. Whether Aztlan was a real island or a mythical homeland, its legacy endures, a testament to the enduring power of stories to shape who we are and where we come from. And perhaps, in the end, that's where the true magic of Aztlan lies, not in finding its physical location, but in understanding the journey it represents and the dreams it continues to inspire. Now, let's step into the realm of poetry and history, where imagination and reality intertwine to create a legend that has captivated minds for centuries. This is Xanadu, a name immortalized by Samuel Taylor Coleridge in his famous poem, but rooted in the grandeur of the Mongol Empire. Described in ancient manuscripts as the summer capital of Kublai Khan, Xanadu was a city of unparalleled beauty, a place where opulence met nature in perfect harmony. Though its ruins have been uncovered in present-day Inner Mongolia, much about this legendary city remains cloaked in mystery. What was life like in this imperial retreat, and what secrets does Xanadu still hold? The story of this extraordinary city invites us to glimpse the splendor of the Mongol Empire at its height. The manuscripts that mention Xanadu paint a vivid picture of a city designed to inspire awe. Kublai Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan and the founder of the Yuan dynasty, chose Xanadu as his summer residence, a place to escape the heat and political pressures of his primary capital, Khanbalik, modern-day Beijing. Nestled in the lush grasslands of Inner Mongolia, Xanadu was a marvel of engineering and artistry. Its palaces were adorned with gold and precious stones, while its gardens were filled with exotic plants and animals brought from across the empire. The city was a testament to the wealth and ambition of the Mongol rulers, a place where the natural world and human ingenuity came together in breathtaking fashion. What makes Xanadu so fascinating is its dual identity as both a historical site and a symbol of poetic imagination. Coleridge's poem Kublai Khan famously describes it as a stately pleasure dome, a place of enchantment and wonder. While the poem was inspired by a dream, its imagery draws heavily from the descriptions of Xanadu found in ancient texts. These manuscripts speak of a city where music filled the air, where rivers flowed through marble courtyards, and where the Khan himself held court surrounded by scholars, artists, and diplomats from across the known world. It was a place where cultures converged, a reflection of the Mongol Empire's vast reach and cosmopolitan nature. But what remains of Xanadu today? Archaeological excavations have uncovered the city's foundations, revealing a sprawling complex of palaces, temples, and gardens. The ruins, though fragmented, hint at the grandeur that once defined this imperial retreat. Yet, much about Xanadu remains unknown. What daily life was like for its inhabitants, how the city was governed, and the exact nature of its cultural exchanges are questions that continue to intrigue historians. The manuscripts provide glimpses, but they are tantalizingly incomplete, leaving room for speculation and discovery. One of the most intriguing aspects of Xanadu is its role as a cultural crossroads. Under Kublai Khan's rule, the Mongol Empire stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the Mediterranean, connecting east and west in ways that had never been seen before. Xanadu, as a summer capital, became a hub for this exchange. Scholars, merchants, and travelers from as far as Persia, India, and Europe would have passed through its gates, bringing with them ideas, goods, and innovations that shaped the empire. This cultural melting pot is reflected in the city's architecture, which blends Chinese, Mongol, and Central Asian influences into a unique and harmonious whole. The mystery of Xanadu lies not just in its physical remnants, but in the stories it inspires. Was it truly the paradise described in the manuscripts, or did its reputation grow larger than life over time? Could the ruins still hold secrets about the Mongol Empire's inner workings, or about the life of one of history's most powerful rulers? These questions invite us to look beyond the poetry and the ruins, to imagine the city as it once was a place of beauty, power, and possibility. As we explore the legend of Xanadu, we're reminded that some places are more than just locations, they're stories alive with the echoes of the past. Whether through the words of ancient manuscripts or the ruins that still stand, Xanadu continues to captivate us, a testament to the enduring allure of history, art, and the human spirit. Its story, like the empire it represents, is one of ambition, creativity, and the timeless quest to create something extraordinary. And perhaps, in the end, that's where the true magic of Xanadu lies, not just in its palaces and gardens, but in the dreams it continues to inspire. Beneath the vast landscapes of ancient India, where the earth meets the unknown, lies a legend that has fascinated storytellers and seekers for centuries. This is Patala, a subterranean realm described in ancient manuscripts as a world of unimaginable treasures, serpent beings, and mystical wonders. Imagine a place where the boundaries between the earthly and the supernatural blur, where rivers of gold flow through shadowy caverns, and where the very air hums with the whispers of ancient secrets. But was Patala a real place, hidden beneath the surface, or a vivid metaphor for the mysteries of the underworld? The answer, like the realm itself, lies buried deep within the layers of myth and geology. The descriptions of Patala in ancient Indian texts are as enchanting as they are enigmatic. It's depicted as one of the 7 realms of the universe, a place of both beauty and danger, where serpent-like beings known as Nagas guard vast riches and wield immense power. These manuscripts describe Patala as a land of eternal twilight, lit by the glow of precious gems and the shimmer of underground waters. For the ancients, Patala wasn't just a physical location. It was a spiritual and cosmological concept, a place where the natural and the divine intertwined. But could Patala have been inspired by real geological features? Some scholars suggest that the legend might have roots in India's vast network of caves and underground rivers. The country's landscape is dotted with natural wonders, from the intricate cave systems of Ajanta and Ellora to the subterranean rivers that flow beneath the surface. These places, with their hidden chambers and echoing silence, could easily have sparked the imagination of early storytellers, transforming them into the mythical realm of Patala. Others argue that Patala might represent the human fascination with the unknown, a way to explore the mysteries of the earth and the cosmos through stories. What makes Patala particularly intriguing is its dual nature, both a physical place and a spiritual concept. On one hand, it's a realm of material wealth, a treasure trove of gold, jewels, and other riches. On the other, it's a symbol of the underworld, a place of transformation and renewal, where the boundaries of life and death are fluid. The Nagas, often depicted as both protectors and tricksters, embody this duality, representing the tension between the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown. Modern interpretations of Patala continue to explore its significance, seeing it as a reflection of ancient India's cosmological beliefs. The seven realms, or lokas, described in Hindu and Buddhist texts, are not just physical spaces but layers of existence, each one representing a different aspect of the universe. Patala, as the lowest of these realms, serves as a reminder of the interconnectedness of all things, from the depths of the earth to the heights of the heavens. The search for Patala, whether as a real place or a symbolic concept, invites us to consider the ways in which ancient cultures made sense of their world. It's a story that speaks to the human desire to explore, to understand, and to find meaning in the mysteries that surround us. The manuscripts that describe Patala are more than just records of a lost realm. They're windows into the minds of those who created them, offering insights into their beliefs, their fears, and their dreams. As we delve into the mystery of Patala, we're reminded that some stories are not just about finding a place, they're about discovering the layers of meaning that lie beneath the surface. Whether it's a hidden cave, a subterranean river, or a metaphor for the underworld, Patala continues to captivate us. Its treasures as much about the journey of discovery as they are about the riches themselves. And perhaps, in the end, that's the true allure of Patala, not the gold or the gems, but the way it invites us to explore the unknown, to question what we think we know, and to imagine what might lie just beyond the edge of our understanding. Now, let's journey to the lush landscapes of Sri Lanka, where a towering rock formation rises dramatically from the jungle, crowned by the ruins of an ancient fortress. This is Zerzura, often referred to as the Lion Rock, a place where myth and history collide in spectacular fashion. According to ancient Sri Lankan manuscripts, Zerzura was once a thriving royal citadel, a marvel of engineering and artistry that stood as a symbol of power and ambition. But while its towering walls and frescoes have survived the centuries, much of its story remains shrouded in mystery. What secrets does this ancient fortress hold, and what caused its once glorious reign to come to an end? The story of Zerzura begins in the 5th century CE, when King Kashyapa chose this imposing rock as the site for his royal residence. The manuscripts describe it as a place of unparalleled beauty, with terraced gardens, shimmering ponds, and frescoes that seem to come alive in the sunlight. The rock itself, rising over 600 feet above the surrounding jungle, was transformed into a fortress of breathtaking ingenuity. Visitors today can still see the remnants of its grandeur, the lion's paws carved into the rock, the mirror wall adorned with ancient graffiti, and the frescoes depicting celestial maidens that have captivated artists and historians alike. What makes Zerzura so extraordinary is not just its physical scale, but the sheer ambition behind its creation. The gardens, for example, are among the oldest landscaped gardens in the world, showcasing advanced hydraulic engineering that allowed water to flow through the site in a carefully designed system of channels, pools, and fountains. The frescoes, painted with natural pigments that have endured for centuries, are a testament to the skill and creativity of the artists who crafted them. Even the mirror wall, once polished to a reflective sheen, speaks to the ingenuity of its builders, who used a blend of materials to create a surface that gleamed like glass. Yet, for all its grandeur, Zerzura's reign was surprisingly short-lived. after King Kashiopa's death, the fortress was abandoned, its palaces and gardens left to the mercy of the jungle. The manuscripts offer little explanation for this sudden decline, leaving historians to piece together the story from fragments of evidence. Some believe that Sigiria's remote location made it difficult to sustain as a center of power, while others suggest that its association with Kashiopa, who seized the throne in a controversial coup, led to its abandonment after his downfall. What secrets might still lie hidden within Sigiria's walls? Archaeologists continue to uncover clues, from the remnants of ancient structures to artifacts that shed light on the lives of those who lived and worked here. The rock summit, accessible only by a steep and winding stairway, still holds surprises, including evidence of a once thriving monastic complex that predates Kashiopa's reign. These discoveries suggest that Sigiria's history is far more complex than the manuscripts reveal, a tapestry of human ambition, creativity, and resilience. As we explore the mystery of Sigiria, we're reminded of the enduring power of human ingenuity. This fortress, carved into the very rock itself, stands as a testament to what can be achieved when ambition meets artistry. Its story, though incomplete, invites us to imagine the lives of those who built it, the rulers who walked its halls, and the artists who painted its walls. Sigiria is more than just a ruin, it's a window into a world where the boundaries between the natural and the man-made blur, where the echoes of the past still resonate in the present. The enigma of Sigiria continues to captivate us, its secrets waiting to be uncovered. Whether through the fragments of its frescoes, the whispers of its mirror wall, or the mysteries of its gardens, the Lion Rock invites us to explore not just its history, but the timeless human drive to create, to innovate, and to leave a mark on the world. And perhaps, in the end, that's the true legacy of Sigiria, not the fortress itself, but the story it tells about the heights we can reach when we dare to dream. Now, let's set sail across the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean, where the waves whisper tales of an island shrouded in mystery and wonder. This is Taprobana, a name that has echoed through the ages in the writings of ancient Greek and Roman scholars. Imagine an island so vast, so rich, that it seemed to defy the boundaries of the known world. Described as a land of unimaginable wealth, exotic creatures, and a culture far ahead of its time, Taprobana has long fascinated historians and adventurers alike. But where exactly was this legendary island? Was it a real place or a product of ancient imagination? The answer lies somewhere in the blurred lines between myth and geography, inviting us to explore the limits of what the ancients knew and how they interpreted the world around them. The earliest mentions of Taprobana come from the works of Greek historian Megasthenes and Roman scholar Pliny the Elder. Their manuscripts paint a vivid picture of an island teeming with elephants, pearls, and spices, a place so prosperous that it attracted traders from across the ancient world. Some accounts even describe its people as having 2 harvests a year, a testament to the island's fertile lands and advanced agricultural practices. For the Greeks and Romans, Taprobana was more than just a trading partner. It was a symbol of the exotic, the unknown, and the boundless potential of exploration. But pinning down Taprobana's exact location has proven to be a challenge. Some scholars argue that it refers to modern-day Sri Lanka, an island that fits many of the descriptions in the manuscripts. Sri Lanka's rich history of trade, its abundant natural resources, and its strategic position in the Indian Ocean make it a strong candidate. Others suggest that Taprobana might have been Sumatra, or even a combination of several islands, their identities blurred by the limited geographical knowledge of the time. The ambiguity has only added to Taprobana's allure, turning it into a puzzle that continues to intrigue historians and archaeologists. What makes Taprobana so fascinating is how it reflects the ancient world's understanding and misunderstanding of geography. For the Greeks and Romans, the Indian Ocean was a realm of endless possibilities, a place where the edges of the map dissolved into myth. Taprobana, as described in the manuscripts, represents both the pinnacle of their knowledge and the limits of their imagination. It's a reminder that the ancient world was far more interconnected than we often realize, with trade routes stretching across oceans and stories traveling even farther. Could Taprobana have been a real place, its name and memory preserved in the folklore of the Indian Ocean? Some point to the ancient trading networks that connected the Mediterranean with South Asia, suggesting that Taprobana might have been a hub for these exchanges. Others see it as a symbol of the ancient world's fascination with the exotic, a way to explain the origins of the goods that flowed into their markets. The manuscripts that mention Taprobana are more than just historical records. They're a window into how the ancients viewed the world, blending fact and fiction to create stories that endure to this day. The search for Taprobana is not just about finding a lost island. It's about understanding how ancient cultures made sense of their world. It's a journey into the minds of those who first mapped the unknown, who dared to imagine what lay beyond the horizon. Whether Taprobana was a real place or a product of ancient storytelling, its story reminds us of the enduring power of curiosity, the drive to explore, and the way stories can shape our understanding of the world. As we delve into the mystery of Taprobana, we're reminded that some legends are not just about the places they describe, but the questions they inspire. Its tale, whether rooted in history or imagination, invites us to look beyond the surface, to question what we think we know, and to imagine what might lie hidden in the spaces between myth and reality. And perhaps, in the end, that's the true legacy of Taprobana. Not the treasures it held, but the way it continues to inspire us to explore the unknown, to seek answers, and to dream of what might lie just beyond the edge of the map. Now, let's turn our attention to the heart of North America, where the Mississippi River winds its way through a landscape steeped in ancient history. This is Cahokia, a name that evokes images of a once thriving metropolis, its skyline dominated by towering earthen mounds that still rise from the earth today. Described in ancient Native American manuscripts as a hub of trade, culture, and innovation, Cahokia was a city unlike any other in its time. But what made this place so extraordinary, and why did it vanish, leaving behind only whispers of its former glory? The story of Cahokia is a window into the rich and complex history of pre-Columbian North America, a tale of ambition, ingenuity, and mystery. At its peak around the year 1050 CE, Cahokia was home to tens of thousands of people, making it one of the largest cities in the world at the time. The city's centerpiece was Monk's Mound, a colossal earthen structure that towered over the surrounding landscape. Rising nearly 100 feet high, this mound was the largest pre-Columbian earthwork in the Americas, a testament to the engineering prowess of its builders. Surrounding it were over 100 smaller mounds, each serving a unique purpose, some as platforms for temples, others as burial sites, and still others as markers of social or political significance. What's truly remarkable about Cahokia is the sophistication of its society. The city was a melting pot of cultures, a place where goods, ideas, and traditions from across North America converged. Artifacts found at the site, from seashells from the Gulf Coast to copper from the Great Lakes, reveal a vast trade network that connected Cahokia to distant regions. The city's planners demonstrated an advanced understanding of astronomy, aligning their structures with the movements of the sun and stars. And then there's the Grand Plaza, a sprawling open space that served as the heart of Cahokian life, hosting ceremonies, markets, and gatherings that brought the community together. Yet, for all its grandeur, Cahokia's decline is one of history's great enigmas. By the time European settlers arrived in the region, the city had long been abandoned, its mounds reclaimed by nature. The manuscripts and oral traditions of Native American tribes offer some clues, suggesting that environmental changes, social unrest, or resource depletion may have played a role. Some scholars point to evidence of deforestation and soil exhaustion, which could have made it difficult to sustain such a large population. Others speculate that political or religious shifts led to the city's collapse. Whatever the cause, the fall of Cahokia reminds us that even the most advanced societies are not immune to the forces of change. What secrets might still lie buried beneath Cahokia's mounds? Archaeologists continue to uncover fascinating details about the city's history, from the remains of its inhabitants to the artifacts they left behind. One particularly intriguing discovery is the so-called woodhenge, a series of wooden posts arranged in a circle, believed to have been used as a solar calendar. This structure, along with the mounds and other findings, paints a picture of a society deeply connected to the natural world, one that sought to understand and harness the rhythms of the cosmos. The story of Cahokia is more than just a tale of a lost city. It's a reminder of the rich and often overlooked history of North America before European contact. Its legacy challenges us to rethink our understanding of the past, to see the land not as an empty wilderness waiting to be discovered, but as a place where vibrant, complex societies once thrived. Cahokia's mounds, silent and enduring, stand as monuments to the ingenuity and resilience of its people, inviting us to explore the mysteries they left behind. As we delve into the enigma of Cahokia, we're reminded that history is not just about the rise and fall of civilizations, but about the stories we tell about them. Its tale, though incomplete, invites us to imagine the lives of those who built it, the ceremonies that echoed across its plazas, and the connections that spanned a continent. Cahokia's story is one of discovery, not just of a city, but of the enduring human spirit, a spirit that continues to inspire us to uncover the truths of the past and to honor the legacies they leave behind. From the windswept dunes of Arabia to the dense, uncharted jungles of South America, the 30 mysterious locales we've explored today are more than just stories. They're testaments to the boundless curiosity and imagination of humanity. Each legend, each hidden city, each fabled paradise invites us to question what we know about history, geography, and even ourselves. Were these places real, or were they born from the dreams of ancient storytellers? Perhaps the answer lies somewhere in between, in the space where myth and reality intertwine. These tales challenge us to push beyond the edges of our maps, to imagine what might lie hidden in the untold chapters of history. They remind us that the past is not a static thing, but a living, breathing mystery, full of stories waiting to be uncovered. Whether it's the golden streets of El Dorado or the sunken ruins of Atlantis, each legend offers a glimpse into the hopes, fears, and aspirations of the people who first told these stories. But the journey doesn't end here. The ancient manuscripts that inspired our exploration today are just the beginning. What other secrets might they hold? What other worlds, lost or forgotten, are waiting to be rediscovered? The pages of history are filled with whispers of places that defy explanation, and it's up to us to follow those whispers, to keep asking questions, and to keep searching for the truths that lie hidden in the shadows. If you've enjoyed this journey through time and legend, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know which of these mysterious locales captured your imagination the most, or if there's another ancient mystery you'd like us to explore next. Until then, remember that the world is full of wonders, both seen and unseen. So keep exploring, keep wondering, and keep discovering the stories that make our world so endlessly fascinating. Thanks for joining us on this adventure, and we'll see you next time.